Two great pickups that the Warriors got during the offseason. Need to really pitch in. Obviously, Carl Landry got the win, really led the Warriors to victory in the season opener at Phoenix. So hopefully the Warriors get more of that from Landry. But the big disappointment that the Warriors got was losing Brandon Rush, their sixth man with a torn ACL. He's going to be out for the whole season. So who's going to fill in that void? Is it going to be Landry? Is it going to be Jack? Who's it going to be? So hopefully the light board or the chat board can light up more. And let's get the questions started. And I'm going to try to get this board up. I got a question. What do you think about the NBA so far? And I think the NBA so far is doing pretty good. A lot of disappointment from the Lakers. Obviously, me and Chris Sylvester and I were talking about that and how the Lakers are not really doing so well to start the season at a 1-4 record. But I think they're going to bounce back for it. I'm comparing the Lakers to the 2010-2011 Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat. They did not start the season very well. They started the season 9-9, like Chris said, and they started their chemistry started to get better. It was Dwayne Wade and Eric Spoelstra, the head coach. They're having a very shaky relationship as a head coach and a player, and all those characteristics. But I think everybody's relationship has gone better, and I think that Miami really started to play better at the end of the season. I think that's the same thing the Lakers are going to do, but I'm not seeing the Lakers in the finals. I'm not seeing the Lakers winning the finals if they even make it there. So, um, the biggest surprise for me as a good team, currently right now is Minnesota. They're starting the season 3-1. I know this is tremendously early in the season, but they have a very good team. I'm talking. I'm going to call this right now. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be the sleeper team that will make it to the playoffs. They beat the Nets uh, on Monday. That's a good win. Also beating the Orlando Magic tonight, 90-75. They're not gonna play against the Indiana Pacers, who I'll talk about just a little bit, and losing Danny Granger for a little bit longer. They're fifth in the league in rebounds per game. But obviously they are led by All-Star Kevin Love of what? UCLA. They're also ranked in the college basketball rankings. They're like 16th. So look for them this year. But going back to the Timberwolves, they're a very good team. I don't see if they don't make it to the playoffs this year, I'm gonna be really surprised. They have a very good starting lineup. They got Brandon Roy, who has been battling knee injuries. He retired for a season. He retired this past season. Then he's come back. These guys are. This team is looking very good. Ricky Rubio, in his second season in the NBA, he's coming off that knee injury that he suffered into last season. Kevin Love is going to just do whatever he can do to really help his team. Andre Kirilenko, big pickup during the offseason from Utah. That I think is going to be the key factor for Minnesota. Another big man in the key. Andre Kirilenko, he's a small forward, but he can also be a big man too. He's 6'9", 235, and Kevin Love, he's 6'10", 260. So they're almost alike in a way. It's it's like Kellen Lewis is the center and Karolinko is the power forward, but it's switched up and mumble jumbled all the way. But Brandon Roy, he's gonna make an impact too. Derek Williams also. Derek Williams, I think he's the guy that won the the slam dunk competition. I don't really care about that. He's not really that good. I know he's worth a lot of money. He's worth 4 million, but that's part of his rookie contract. He's young. But I think he's good. He's a good guy. He's a good player, but he needs to get traded or to a different team so he can start and play more. The Timberwolves picking up Archer Kirilenko is kind of alerting Williams that you need to get better or you're not going to play a lot. And that's pretty much what the Timberwolves are pretty much all about right now. And let's go back to the board and see what questions. This is from T. Watkins. How do you think of the Jazz this year? And the Jazz, like I said, they lost Andre Kirilenko, and that's the concern I have for them this year. They have Devin Harris, they have Al Jefferson, they have Millsap, but do I think that this team out of the Northwest Division was just a little bit difficult? They beat the Lakers today. They beat the Lakers today. That's I gotta give them some props. They beat the Lakers today. That was a good game. They won. I can't I can't say that they lost. I can't say they suck. But the Lakers are 1-4. The Utah's in a hard division this year because Minnesota is looking good. They're looking to uh tie, looking to knock off Oklahoma City in a way. Portland's a decent team this year. And then Denver, they have some sick unis this year, but I don't think they're gonna be that good. I'll get their unis for days. I love them their new yellow jerseys that Diaz has given to them. But I don't see them as a contending team trying to make the playoffs, especially in a very competitive Western Conference, trying to be in the top eight in the end of the season. That's difficult. But I think the Jazz, their roster is pretty good. Um, they have their good players, then they have their bad players, and I think it was Derek Favors. I got mixed up with Darren Williams. I think Favors was the one that won the Favors was the one that won the slam dunk competition. I just remember that. And they got some good guys. Looking at their roster right now, Gordon Hayward out of Butler. I remember him. He almost hit a game. He almost hit a half court game winner in the national championship against UConn a few years ago. Um, but he's a 6'6" shooting guard. That's the concern I have. Rajah Bell, remember him from the old Phoenix Suns team that used to be really good and make it to the playoffs all the time, with Steve Nash winning consecutive MVPs. He's on this team too. He's making $3.4 million this year. And Al Jefferson, what can you say about him? He's making $15 million a year. He's the best player on the team pretty much. Paul Millsap, that was his name. There we go. And then Enes Kanter. This is his first year out of Kentucky. This is his second year, pardon me, out of Kentucky. Well, technically Kentucky. He was an international player, I'm pretty sure. But if this team really puts the pieces of the puzzle together, I think that they're going to be a playoff team too. But I'm not expecting them to be a a top five team. I think that the Jazz will be a 6, 7, or an 8. And Watkins, obviously, another good statement there. Jazz are very underrated, and I have to believe. I'm kind of on that. I think that the Jazz, obviously, in a very low market, a low media market area in Utah. Not Utah Jazz are really the only um, they're the only professional team out there, professional sports team. They have the Utah Utes, very popular college football program, but it's the Jazz really that's the pro team out there. I'm not saying that Utah Utes are good or not good or not respected a lot. It's just that the Jazz, I think that they could be so much better. I think that they could be the team that knocked off the Warriors in the playoffs in 2007. And if the Jazz put the pieces to the puzzle, they're going to be in the playoffs. But I'm not expecting them to be a number 4 or a number 4 seed or possibly a division winning team. That's not going to happen. Another question: do you think the Bulls will have enough offense without Rose to go to the Eastern Conference Finals? Well, that's not really a good question because the Bulls will get back Derrick Rose before the Eastern Conference Finals if they make it there. But if I'll put this as if Rose injured himself again when he came back. Do you think Bulls will have enough offense? And that's a no. You guys obviously saw it in the playoffs last season. They lost to the 76ers. And It's not good. The 76ers are a sharing team. I call them a sharing team because they share the ball a lot. Lou Williams, they lost Andre Iguodala, Spencer Howes, Evan Turner. They're a sharing team. They love to share the ball. They do not score more than 20 points a lot. There are a lot of guys that score 18, 16, 14 points, 13 points. Not a lot of points scored, but they're all spread out. The starting lineup today, except for one guy, had double-digit points, but none under 15. So they're a sharing team, and I don't know why they'll lose, but you know, whatever. I don't care. But I've never liked the Bulls. The only guy that I like on the Bulls is everybody's favorite on the Bulls, Derrick Rose. Joakim Noah, he is one. I can call him one of the cockiest guys in the National Basketball Association. Exclude Kevin Garnett. His cockiness is actually pretty fun to watch. You gotta be honest. It's fun to watch. You might not like it, but it's fun to watch. It's fun seeing him punch the little padding underneath the basket in in arenas. It's so fun to watch that. It's so funny. But Joe Noah, he's not really that good. He's not an all star. Obviously, he hasn't made an all star. He's not. He doesn't average a lot of points. He's injured a lot. To be honest, he's on the bench a lot. I can see him on the bench a lot with a suit, and that means he's injured, and that's not good. And he's very cocky. There's a lot of things I can say about Joe Noah. I liked him when he was at Florida before he got cocky, but now he's extremely cocky. He thinks that since Derrick Rose is out, he's pretty much the leader of the team. It really isn't. He really isn't. I think that Luol Deng is more of a leader than a Joakim Noah. Let's go to some more questions, guys. Answer me some questions. What do you think about T. Watkins? He's got some good comments. I think that's my opinion. And that's from a national sports guy. Guys, please put your names in the questions so I could possibly say who's asking the questions. I have another question. How will the Bobcats do this year? Will they make the playoffs? Bobcats will not make it to the playoffs. Um, no, they're not a good team. The Bobcats are very. They got Michael Kid Gilchrist. He's the best player on the team, unfortunately, and that's really all they have. Sorry. They won't make it to the playoffs this year, but I think the Bobcats will have obviously a better season than they had last season, which they only won 7 games. And the question from the Bobcats was from Cameron Sadeghi. The Bobcats are gonna have, if the pieces go right, they're gonna have 20 wins. That's what I'm gonna say. 20 wins. That's a good start. That's an improvement. The Bobcats are a rebuilding team. Michael Jordan is possibly one of the worst owners in the NBA. He has made some terrible decisions, and I only need one example: Kwame Brown. And I think that giving more control to the new GM and president of the Bobcats really helped the Bobcats' decision making. But if the Bobcats don't put the pieces to the puzzle, they get 10 wins, and they guarantee a spot, another possibility of a first round pick. And that'll be actually a good thing for the Bobcats. I think that they need one more good young player along with Michael Kidd Gilchrist to really put the pieces to the puzzle and maybe think about going after the 500 mark and possibly make it to the playoffs, because in the Eastern Conference, you can be just below 500 and make it as an 8th seed. Let's improve the season by trading Kwame Brown. Would you agree, season? Kwame Brown is injured. Just letting you know, he has I think it's a left groin situation. But I know Cameron's just joking about that. But Kwame Brown, probably the biggest disappointment out of a number 1 seed before Greg Oden. But Greg Oden had knee problems. It's not your fault if you have knee problems. If you have physical problems.